Hi. In this slide, I'm going to look at the way that governments may alter or even steer the development of the internet over the next 30 years. But first, I think you've got to look at who actually owns the internet. And the simple answer is that nobody actually owns all of the internet. Various companies, universities, different organizations own the servers that connect to the internet or make the internet. And again, various companies and institutions and governments own some of the cables, the glue that pulls together the internet. So, why the government? Well, they have various interests. One is they can see the way that business now relies upon the internet. They've been pressured by pressure groups who don't like some of the internet. They don't like the intrusion. They don't like the fact that everything you do is known. And for good reasons, I think that they are being pressured to put laws down that protect the interests of the people on there. Take, for instance, the debacle maybe last year or the year before on Facebook and the way that certain companies were using that data to predict. And that's where the algorithms come in. How powerful are these? Will they steer the way that the government goes? And the answer to that is yes, it will, because they need to protect our interests. But there again, the government may have the alternative side, and that is they can see quite clearly that they have national interest to look at other internet systems and see what's going on. Watch for chatter. Watch what other countries are doing. Is it going to be beneficial to listen to certain governments? The answer is yes. And also the power that the internet brings in terms of its control over its subjects. In other words, will governments start to look at that they can control us as the people by the use of and control of the internet and watch what we are doing? And that is scary. So there has to be some control. But how much? And what influence will that have on the way that we do business and exist? Certain governments have gone to the far extremes as far as we can see, and that's the way that China works, in a way that they've scaled back the outer side influence and are looking to control the people away from the outside influence and look towards stopping them seeing how the Western world works. And that again is scary. Why would they want to do that? Well, it's control again. So there is a lot to be looked at in the way that the internet will work in the next 35 years or 30 years. And the question whether governments across the world will have an influence in this, and that is absolutely right. They will, for good and for bad reasons. So when you're starting to look at this 30-year cycle, we can look back on past uses and inventors and the nomads and the nerds, and we can learn from that. But we can also see in the later years how the governments have come in and started to not interfere, but be aware of and try to control the internet.